This is Electrocity. It is a free online game that was created in New Zealand. It is now being played all over the world by high school students and probably junior high as well. The reason I like this game is because it offers the student the ability to be very creative. It requires critical thinking skills. They need to understand everything that they've learned in environmental science because this game is taught at the end of the semester, because by the time they're done with almost all the chapters, they'll have learned all about environmental impacts, renewable and non-renewable resources. This game can also be played in social studies as well as political science or government courses or economics and mathematics, because the student becomes a mayor of this tiny little town in New Zealand, and they have to find a way to make everybody happy. The population, you need to increase it. You start out with so much money, you want to make as much money as possible, and at the same time you have to be really concerned about the environmental impacts as you build your city, and it requires energy, and that's why it's called Electrocity. Teachers need to register, and let me click on that. If you register for a class, then you will be given a code, and when the students have finished playing the game, they type the code in so that you can check up on their work. Let me show you how this is done. I've already filled my code out. My code is JB33406. When my students finish playing a game, they type this code in and submit it, and it sends it to me, and then I can check their work. I give my students a worksheet. Sometimes I leave it online and they can just type it in, but other times I just print it. These are the instructions, and I always show them how to play the game. And they are going to play 3 times. And then they have to answer these analysis questions. Number 5 tells you that when you have finished a game, link your score to the teacher's code, and that's where they'll know to do that. The reason you want them to do this is because a lot of students will just take this worksheet and just make up a bunch of numbers. I also make them do a screenshot so that I actually see their scores and I compare it to all 3 attempts. Let's go in and play the game. We are going to start a new game. Okay, first thing that you're going to do is type in a name. I'll just call mine Byram Town. If students name their town something offensive, Electrocity will not publish it. Let's start the game, and this is what you're going to see first. The name of your town, the population. You always start with 10,000. You start with $400. Local body rates has to do with taxes. So of these 10,000 people, if they're working or farming or whatever they're doing, anything they do in this town, you're taxing them. The lower you make the local body rates, the happier they are. But if you increase it, then you'll make more money. So there's never going to be a whole bunch of happy people. That's very rare to have every one of these happy. There's also coal and gas. You can purchase it. You've got markets where you can buy gas or oil, or you can actually sell it when the market's really good. Options. Some of these things are auto, like I want to do auto buy power shortfall, so that whenever I start running out of power, it'll automatically buy me some more. Because you have to, as the mayor of the town, you must consider the people and keeping them happy. At the same time, you want to build your town. You want to make it extremely energy efficient. You need to know about non-renewable and renewable resources, how to generate power efficiently. You need to know about the different types of environmental impacts, because right here, your electricity supply, you want it to be closer to this yellow area. And the environment, you also want to get over to the green side. Now, there's 150 turns, and believe me, that doesn't take much to do. You can really be done in 15 to 20 minutes or less, depending on how well you do. The stats, I don't have any yet, but they also will help you make decisions. Hints, follow the hints, because they really will help you generate, because you don't want to go bankrupt. You really have to pay attention to this $400. And then there's 17 of those hints. Now, one of the hints that I already know about is the more turns you take that you aren't doing anything, the more money and people you will generate. See, so I'm just going to click real fast just to show you how quickly my population will, my money will grow. Now, I don't have a lot of people yet. It's going down because I'm not doing anything to my town. So let's see. Over here is a windmill. And so I am going to build and see when you click on something, you have this information. You can click build. And when you click on the wind farm, it's going to cost me $50. It will tell you the pros and cons. Of course, I do want to build. And you have to click to get it to complete. See, it's not done. Now it's complete. I will go to my little sleepy town. I will click on programs and I will click on efficiency education, solar panels, efficient light bulbs, household insulation. I'm buying all of these to improve my town. And then you can click on any of these little grids here will come up with something. So it talks about rivers that are needed for coal and gas plants, and they're also popular with campers. So then you hit build. Here are my choices. I believe that I will go ahead and build a hydro plant. Pros and cons, because hydro plants, if you've taken environmental science, will generate power. And I will go ahead and click. Let's prospect, just so you understand what happens when you prospect. Okay, so when you prospect and I hit next turn, it says no resources. So let me try somewhere else. And there's nothing to prospect there, but let's see what I can build. A nuclear plant. I have it costs 4,000. I will do the coal plant right there. So that's what you do. You have to decide, because this is your population is gonna increase and decrease. You've got some people that are complaining because the taxes are too high. So let me lower the body rate and then hit my next turn and see what happens. See, and it improved. Now my people, I need to build something, a patch of land to where you can actually build some farmland, because that will also generate some people. Let me try over here. Farmland, let's do rich farmland. And then I will build and then next turn. So you just keep doing this. You have to keep second guessing. Sometimes, these messages will pop up. But anyway, so that's how you play this game. And it's 150 turns. And you see how my population is going down. And they will warn you too. And if you're not sure what to do, then go to hints. Let me show you what finished cities look like. Bob Jones, his city's name is Tweed. And he has 14 million people. So let's see how well he did. This is impressive. He has $10 million. He has 14 million people. He has his local body rates down to 0 taxes. His electric supply and his environment are right in the middle. So it's not good, it's not bad. I mean, it's just right in the middle. But then again, look how big his city is. As you can see, he has a stadium. He's got an amusement park. If you just kind of look around, he's got a metropolis. He's got skyscrapers. So he has done quite well. It's very impressive. This is how terrible I did. My energy management was a D. That's because I did not do well. I just building coal plants here. I was not really being energy efficient. My energy management was terrible because I did not consider what would be the best avenue to go to build power plants. And I didn't build enough of them to generate the electricity that I needed to take care of 127,000 people. My popularity was an A. My population was a C plus. I had 127,000, and my environment was an A plus because I didn't build very many things. Now, this is from New Zealand, so their grading system is a little different. A 67 in New Zealand is a B minus out of 100. So, you have to kind of look at it that way. But then, you would save your game here or save and show it off. I would not personally show this off. But when you save your game, let's see what happens when I save the game. I got to do it this way. And this is where you would type in your teacher's code, and JB, what was it, 334, and then you just save it. That's how you play this game. I like to play this game with my students because it really gets them motivated to learn the material. I use this game in lieu of 2 chapters, renewable energy and non-renewable resources chapters. I teach them about that, and then we do this game instead of taking an assessment. And I know that a lot of my students love to play this game. The special ed students that I had, they enjoyed playing this game, and when they didn't do well, they went bankrupt. A lot of students would just keep playing. So we would do this for 2 class periods, because the first class period they had to kind of get used to the idea of it, and then they started to take notes and start using strategy. So you really need to give it 2 days. We're not doing the traditional assessment, so this is just a great way to motivate them to learn. They know they have to do a decent job. They can't go bankrupt, and it's in lieu of a test grade. So this is a great game to play for the students. There's a lot of critical thinking skills that require them to do well.